Is it a hat podcast?
It is for me, brother.
I think it might be for me as well. And fuck it.
Ah, Or my hair's a little in the silly world right now.
Oh, dude, my hair is slowly getting there. It's coming.
My looking weird. Are we up live yet? Can I hear?
We are live audio. Do you need me to turn it off real quick?
No, it's fine. I can say it after.
Oh, okay. So we are gonna talk about that thing that I sent you, by the way.
Okay, we are. That's a leaked thing, or?
It is, but apparently Beans was talking about it elsewhere, so it's like commonly known throughout the community. It's just a matter of like people not wanting to say shit, and
Okay.
I'm gonna say shit. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be an interesting one from us.
Yeah, I mean, I still want to focus majority on Worlds, to be clear, and obviously, like my tweet out there did not address it because I don't want it to be like this massively big ordeal, but I do want to call out what's going on like behind the scenes since nobody wants
Yeah,
to
I vote you want to start with Worlds and then work to that, or do you want to start with that and? Well, I guess you kind of have to start with that because it kind of feeds into the allegate. You got some allegations.
The fraud.
Fraud allegations.
Yeah, we'll get to that, but that's why I want to do it because like it's gonna be hard for me to talk about Worlds, 100 Thieves, anything like that if I don't specifically talk about that side of things because I have to. It's gonna bug the shit out of me if I don't.
No, for sure. I mean, it sucks the way it works, but honestly, off season starts the second
your team loses.
Finals is over. Yeah, it's like.
Well, I mean, by the time finals is over, the teams are likely locked, guaranteed. Did you see?
I meant for LCS.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it pretty much starts, and teams are starting to move. They're figuring out what they're doing. Honestly, once your team's knocked out, you have a week to recover, and then they want answers, if not quicker.
I mean, they probably already know. Outside of that, for being honest, there's no way they don't.
I mean, the JoJo drama happened literally like
2 weeks.
At most. Yeah, 2 weeks after LCS finals.
Also,
before
it's tough.
Worlds even was close.
It's also tough because like there's nothing you or I can really say when it comes to like Worlds and stuff like that. That like Dom and crew and K-Drill haven't already put out in their 2-hour-long videos. Plus, I put out a question on Twitter earlier, which I was not surprised by the answer. Am I the only one that's... I guess we can start with Worlds, too, real quick. Welcome, everybody, to the Crossover Podcast, episode 144. We got a bunch of shit that we're going to get into, including the World Swiss stage, which starts tomorrow, literally less than 12 hours from when we're recording this now. I've got some rumors to address on 100 Thieves and the teams next year for the LCS, which might not make some people happy. But where was I going to start with for Worlds? I was going to say something before I decided to do the intro to start it, and I completely am blanking on what I was going to say. God damn it. Interviews. Have you watched any interviews or read any interviews from Worlds teams, players, etc.? Anything from like the media day?
No, thinking about it. Yeah, no.
Because they're plastered all over Reddit. I didn't read anything.
Really?
Yeah. It's like
I didn't even know that.
Like 7 of the 8 top posts are all like links to articles with headlines. And when I put the question out there on Twitter of like how many people like had done anything, I put options. I said none, 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 plus. It is with 110 votes, 78 or 71% none.
Wow.
So nobody's reading articles or watching the interviews.
I've read the headlines, but I don't know how to explain it, but I've never been a like articles guy or
neither
interviews guy to lead into something. Usually like I just kind of let the hype come to me. I'll watch like a Pat McAfee show sometimes, and I have things I watch for sure that like give me more insight, but I don't know. I've been watching a lot of Champions Queue
Yeah,
or whatever. Is that
I've
what
been
it's
watching
called?
Cadril stream
Yeah.
Champions Queue a good bit.
Yeah, because that's been what interested me. And then I went back and, like I said last week, I wanted to watch a lot of LPL highlights and figure out how it actually looks. And I watched a bunch of those, but I don't really like listen to the interviews because the interviews, I feel like there's been too many years in a row where the interview guys have said like, "Oh, this team looks fine. I think this team will be good." And we know they're just kind of saying it because they feel obligated.
Yeah,
They're not saying it because they believe it.
let me turn
Because I
this
mean,
up.
everybody always says an A is gonna look okay, and then an A gets absolutely pounded.
I mean, let me hang on. I'm just my computer reset, and I just realized that's why I was so zoomed
But
out.
I get they're all doing good work.
Yeah, I. So my thing with it is like, I feel like it's hard for me to like. It's hard for me to get into some of the interviews and like conversations beforehand because it's like I know all like we know the majority of the stories from these players. And it's like there's only so much you can get from like 10 minutes. Like if you're a diehard fan of that team, it's fine. Like I watched all of 100 Thieves stuff, but like I I find it hard to like really get into that type of stuff at least with League because it's like nobody really has an incendiary personality. It's all like
Yep.
hopium stuff. It's like nobody really talking all that much shit, or if they talk shit, it's like lighthearted jabs. Like nobody's really willing to go at each other, which is like what I would want to read an interview or like a piece like that for, like to learn something new, not just like standard hype for the event. I don't know,
Yeah, I mean that's true. It's very
Luna.
interviews are just such a weird thing to try to get like built up, like you said, build your hype up to and to watch before something. Because you get some player insight, but really players aren't gonna say what they really want to say. I mean, the closest thing you got to interviews being real was probably Whippo having that little mental breakdown. Like that was the closest thing you would have got. And that wasn't an interview. That was just him on stream saying out of pocket stuff. So that's really all you'll get. I mean, everything else is kind of like it's good, but it's also like yeah, it is what it is. I mean,
It's feeder, where it's like
yeah,
I think
there's
the
a
Pat
lot of it's
McAfee show is
right.
like a great example because it's like college game day and all that. Like there's some interviews baked in, but for the most part, it's like it's people telling stories, and you're just
Yeah.
tuning in to like listen to the story that they want to tell, and like hopefully it's entertaining. Like to see Pat McAfee stand by a cannon and like learn a little bit about like the college culture of that particular place. I don't like. I don't know. Maybe it's also like the LEC studio being where like everything is at that kind of like I'm not like trying to get as much like behind the scenes looks at what's going on because we know exactly where they are and what they're doing. But like I think going
Yeah.
into like any interviews or like conversations that they have in the terms of like press and media day, whether it's at finals or you know at semis or quarters when it's at a new place, then I think I'll be checking it out more because I'm also using that to like get a feel of the landscape of the area as well.
Yep. It's there's I mean, there's so much too, like content wise, for you to soak in. So I feel like the interviews have a lot of what is it? They have a lot to fight through. And then Reddit is like kind of becoming a tough like way to gauge how the community actually feels. I mean, some of these I guess have 3.6K of votes, so that's a lot, but I don't really think like Reddit kind of represents Western League of Legends as well anymore. It seems
I mean,
like
I think it still does. I'm not saying it's
does
all of it. It's
somewhat.
definitely like a smaller
Yeah.
portion, but like on Twitter for sure, you don't see people talking about the interviews all that much. At least not like you
No,
used to.
no. I mean, in general, League of Legends is in a weird spot because Reddit isn't losing like actual, what is it called? Actual people. It's still popular on certain places. It's just the League subreddit is a lot smaller than it used to be. And then X is like trying to slowly destroy itself, so it's losing people. So it's kind of this weird like I don't know where the League community really is at sometimes. Like, you do know when things like the Linkin Park stuff happens. You know that because people make their opinion very heard. But the social media sides of LCS and League of Legends in general are like in a weird flux state.
I mean, I'll say like my viewership on TikTok has been phenomenal. Same thing with YouTube. Like
Really?
all of my content that I've put out, like TikTok stuff has been averaging 20, 30K across videos. Uh,
Hmm.
since Worlds began, it's typically 5 figures. Like it's pretty good there. I'm getting over 1,000 pretty steadily for like World stuff. So it's like it's not like people are not interested. I like that
Yeah.
they're 100% tuning in, but it's like the interviews in particular just don't seem to be connecting with people like they used to for whatever reason. I don't know. But
Yeah. And then it's like the only thing that really I can see that got super popular was the um Showmaker basically saying I'm not playing you as solo queue, I'm playing Champions
Champions
queue
queue,
only.
yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
Which
sense.
is like that one's like, yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, bro just doesn't want to play, and that's a meme. So people are gonna like it. But yeah, you can definitely tell a lot of other stuff is like in the dumpster almost for
Kinda.
what it used to be.
I don't know. I'm curious to see. Maybe they have more numbers behind on the back end that like they can say. Uh, I mean, I'd be curious to ask some of the people within the press circle whether they like how their media coverage this year is comparing to years past.
Hmm.
Because like by all means, the numbers could be doing well. They could be getting more clicks and more engagement, and maybe like we're just talking out our ass on this, but like just speaking from the cultural zeitgeist point of view, it just that
Yeah.
impact doesn't feel like it's there like it used to be, and that's not a problem at all. By all means, I'm not saying the league has less attention on it. I think league has the same amount, if not more. It's just going to different places. So,
Yeah.
what do you think of play-in stage though?
Planes looked like the best it's ever been, for being honest. I enjoyed it a lot. It was pretty competitive.
Really, you're not on the Cubby
Uh,
side of, I thought it sucked. The league purist, the gameplay wasn't great, therefore it wasn't great.
oh, was that a thing?
Cubby was very adamant on like he just didn't care to watch because
Oh,
it
my bad.
wasn't the greatest quality gameplay. So, there were quite a few people that were like, I'm fine without it.
I
Yep.
mean, will it even really be a thing going forward?
No,
I feel
it
like
won't be.
I was gonna say I thought Planes is kind of done.
Yeah. I I will say I freaking loved it. Like even
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
despite the obvious thing that we'll get to, I thoroughly enjoyed watching every game of the play-in stage that I could.
I mean, I thought Planes was like a good time. I've always enjoyed it though because it's just basically more worlds.
Yeah.
Like I get it's not the most competitive, but teams come out of it sometimes that make really cool runs and like there has been quite a few years where the story of Worlds, I think, has started in play-ins and it's actually pretty strong and it's
Yeah.
exciting. Like there's a narrative that comes from it, which this year, I mean, was Brazil. Like
Yep.
Brazil getting out is pretty huge. R7 doing what they did was pretty huge.
Yep.
I get not great for you, but good for League of Legends in general. And then on top of it all, like you have you have to have a series between PCS and LCS this early, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, and we got bitch slapped, but
I know you did.
we'll get there. I was genuinely impressed by the viewership that like everybody in the world seemed to be tuning in. And the comparison that I actually made this morning, I think, or it might have been last night on some video that I made, was that I liken this to the WWE, where it's like, are the early matches like what you're tuning in for? No, obviously,
Hmm.
but it's part of the event. It's like part of WrestleMania. Like WrestleMania this past year wasn't just, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. You had a bunch of other things going on alongside of it to help build the story and build the anticipation for this moment. You get some pretty like meh wrestling at times, but for the most part, like it's just good entertainment and it gets you through it. And like it builds the hype and builds up to that moment. And that's exactly what play-in stage does. Are any of these teams going to win, especially now that the LCK and LPL are in it or are not in it? No, absolutely not. But it's still a good time. It's fun to watch. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching that R7 Loud series that was just wild from start to finish. Or R7 Loud. Why do I keep saying Loud? R7 Pain. I keep thinking of Loud as like the only team from Brazil. Every time I talk about Brazil, I've had to edit that out of so many videos.
Really?
Yeah, where I just say Loud and I go back to editing. I was like, why the fuck did I say Loud and not Pain? What is going on?
I mean, it is a weird, like, I'm trying to think, spot they're in now because it's gone.
Yeah.
Like, plans is kind of just over, so it doesn't matter what your opinions are on it anymore because you're never going to see it again.
Yep.
But I think the good thing for them was that Brazil getting out now kind of helps with the argument like, it's moving in an okay direction.
Yeah.
And this isn't the end of the world. Like, NA with only 2 teams isn't going to be the worst. I mean, honestly, when you have 8 teams, anyways, like, top 2 teams probably are the best, like, to represent your region, and that's still a large amount of your region. I mean, what? 2 out of the 8 is still 25%.
Yeah.
Teams make it, so that's pretty good.
Yep.
And I mean, it would be different for like China, who has 4 seeds, going down to 3 when they already have like 17 teams.
Yep.
I mean, Korea has 4 go with only 10 teams, but Korea's 4 are always insanely good, so it's fine.
Jake, if if teams invest less because there's less slots going to Worlds, there's just a bigger problem with the ecosystem. I'm sorry. Like, there's nothing you could if any of the teams remaining really look at that and be like, well, I just can't invest now. It's like, you could still be doing shit. Come on, don't lie to yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to do that, they already wanted to.
Exactly. Like, I can't fix dumbass management being dumbasses. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's one thing to not overspend. I get that philosophy, but like, you can play a little bit more Moneyball and still make it work.
Yep.
I mean, that's literally what this 100 Thieves roster was, right? It was Moneyball.
Yeah.
And it worked until it didn't. And then when it didn't, it really didn't.
Yep. And it's not even that. Like, the funny thing is, too, they're so in and out of being invested or not. Like, that really wasn't that cool of a thing in the sense of, like, them adding more money or not because they made Worlds. I mean, when cheap teams make it anyways, you kind of just sit there and go, yeah, it is what it is. And I understand quality of the league can go down when teams like 100 Thieves make it, but they didn't make it over teams that I wouldn't say aren't quality.
Yeah.
Like, I think Dig has a lot of older players, yes, and they only had half a split together, but they have players who most people, if they would have made Worlds, been like, yeah, that makes sense. If C9 would have made Worlds, we all would have been like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
But because 100 Thieves does it, people are like, well, you never know. Teams aren't spending as much, blah, blah, blah. And it does make sense. And Worlds does help a lot with money. So
it just doesn't help when we bomb out of play-in stage and have the worst performance. Like, to be fair, you have the single worst performance relative to expectations ever at Worlds, hands down, bar none. Okay, I will not take that title, but we have the worst like statistical performance at Worlds that a North American team has ever put up. This podcast continues to be the home of interesting fans.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm fanless. We don't know. I'm still not convinced you're not going to be fanless.
All right, so let's address this. Let's talk about this rumor. Because I don't know a better time to bring it up and talk about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab water while you address it.
Go ahead. So one more bit of info was slid into my DMs earlier today, And again, didn't ask for it. Told the person afterwards, please don't stop sending me shit. Don't send anything. They said, okay, great. Tried to be nice about everything, despite the public pleas that I've had of everything. But I just want to read this off to everybody because this is a rumor, unconfirmed. If any, this is an open invitation for Arsh, anybody else to go out there and start chasing these rumors. Because if they're reaching me, and apparently Beans has talked about them as well, who we've had on the podcast here in private, and I'm assuming, like, obviously Travis and crew have to know. They're just not saying anything because nothing's confirmed. I just don't give a shit, and I'm just gonna put all of it out there. What I was told, quotes, 100 Thieves wants to leave, kinda, question mark. A Saudi team wants to join as either the invite or to take 100 Thieves slot. Disguised Toast will quit League of Legends if they do not get the invite slot. Bit of a bidding war and a mess going on right now.
Yeah. That's not good for you.
Nope.
A bidding war involved with a team that already doesn't want to be here.
Now, here's reading between the lines. I'm assuming that Saudi team is Team Falcon. For those that don't know who they are, they just joined the Call of Duty League as well. Saudi Arabian-backed organization. They were the winners of the Esports World Cup. I mean, what else do you say other than they're just the Saudi team with Saudi money? Realistically, I've been trying to think through this and like trying to think about it from like Riot's point of view, the team's point of view, etc. If Team Falcon comes in and throws the bag at 100 Thieves slot and is like, hey, we got fuck you money, we don't care. We will overpay what Riot is doing. Because for those that don't know the context, I think it was Thorin or Monte Cristo said that 100 Thieves were offered less money than Immortals and NRG to leave the league. Because they didn't want 100 Thieves out as badly as they wanted the other two teams out. So if NRG and Immortals got 8 to 10 million, 100 Thieves, we'll just throw a number out there for shits and giggles, even though this is not verifiable at all. Say 5 million, for example. Well, what if the Saudis come in and are like, hey, Riot's offering 5, we'll offer you 10.
Yep.
As 100 Thieves, they've clearly signaled a few times that like, hey, we might be looking at getting out. That was the rumors for a while. Nobody really had any clue what was going on. But like the only thing that I think throws a wrench in like that rumor is like, if you're Riot, why would you approve that? I don't know. Because under the new team participation agreement, apparently teams can't sell their slots anymore. Which I think is a really weird one because you paid 10 million from the beginning to get that, and if you're putting in a rule that you can't sell your slots, isn't that going against the equity that you put in?
Yeah.
I don't know. That
so you can't sell a slot anymore?
I mean, that's the rumor for the new TPA. So, and that's why the big thing for 100 Thieves...
Did they get their money back? How does that work?
Well, that's the thing. Well, I don't believe so. The only people that got money, to our knowledge, are NRG and Immortals. Who are confirmed out because they let go of all their contracts and everything else there. Like they're all done and gone. But for 100 Thieves, like there was the rumor of them wanting to take the guest slot, which, as much as I disagree with like the principle of it, the business of it makes sense. Because you take Riot's $5 million cash out that no other partner team is going to get. And so long as you're not last, or well, no, I guess you're subject to promotion and relegation every year, because it doesn't matter because nobody else can be relegated. So you just have to win that best of 5 every year to make sure that you stay in.
Mm-hmm.
Stressful, yeah, but you're also getting a cash out that no other team would have.
This is off topic.
What's up?
But let me find it really quick. Yeah, okay. To the guy who put in chat, he's been following you for a while, so I'm not like banning or anything. It's just funny. I saw him bet 365 that Skarner is the odds-on favorite to be most banned at plus whatever. Should I take Yone instead at 4.5 to 1 odds? The number is 1-800-GAMBLER. That is the phone number you call. If you're betting on Skarner and Yone being most banned at Worlds, it's 1-800-GAMBLER in the US. I'm not sure what your country is, but also 100 Thieves. I think for that happening, it's very weird. Like, I don't know which one. So really, Falcon, I sent you earlier saying like, because I've read these things too, and Team Falcon coming in, they are a team that like screams to somebody, this team wants to win, they want to spend money. And I was telling you how that's going to be tough for people who want to cheer for a team that wins, but also don't want to have to knowingly cheer for a team that they know is morally against everything they stand for. And that sucks. Is it really tough? No, it just sucks because I feel like they're going to be really good for no reason.
I'll be honest with you. I think Falcons disrupts the entire ecosystem in the LCS.
100%. I think it's a mistake for Riot to let them in.
Because nobody else is going to be able to pay the salaries that they can. They just won the Esports World Cup. They have, what, 7.5 million from that tournament alone in their pocket? Let alone the funding. Like, I get Riot probably wants the money, but, like, I don't see them building a consistent fan base here. And the amount of money that they're going to put in there, it's just Immortals 2.0. Is it not? Not Immortals currently, but like Immortals 2017 no Winston. It's that 2.0.
Yeah, it's that. And it's tough too because Storm's making the same points I was saying. Soccer makes me like kind of sit there and go, yeah, when they really get behind something, they build it big. Okay. The only thing they haven't been able to get into that they want to is the NFL. And that's because the NFL is expensive.
So I'm glad Revive brought this up. He said they're confirmed spending money. Falcons in the CDL have a budget roster. That is because in the CDL they can field whoever they want, and they're taking 4 Saudi Arabian players.
Oh.
They're keeping their guys local. So they're built like it. I actually like what they're doing in the CDL, believe it or not. Despite the fact that those guys are going to get their shit pushed in so bad. By the way, Con, thank you for the resub. It's going to be bad, but like the LCS, you can't do that. You have import rules. At most, you could put 2 Saudi Arabian players on your team, and then you have to take 3 North American players. So like, there's only so much that they can do, and even that, you put your like, if I'm them, if I'm like putting my head in like Team Falcon like management perspective here, you put 2 of your guys that you want in from. Thank you, Paul, for the resub. Had to match him for the year. You put 2 of your guys in, and then you just throw stupid amounts of money at Impact, at Inspired, at say JoJo PM wants to go. Maybe, I don't know, whoever you want to throw in mid lane. You like, for them, a mil is a drop in a bucket.
Yep.
They don't give a shit. The only thing that they care about is repairing the Saudi Arabian image. That's it.
Yeah, and the thing is too, they're going to spend, like, who was it said? Somebody in chat said, where is it? Crawcook said, also who says they won't spend next year if the team flops, and that's true. Because the Saudis are really good about like going somewhere, like you said, injecting their culture as they can, and then going, oh, we also need to win to get the fans. And they have the foresight to like actually do everything and spend the money to win. And that's what makes them kind of appealing to somebody like me who's going to be on my 8th whatever team at this point. Like, looking at them going, I want a team that spends money. But then I have to like sit there and go, well, never mind, because I know what all of this is coming from, and that's not great.
Yeah, good luck. Then it good luck ruins as the army boy.
The army guy cheering for Saudi Arabia. That's good.
Yep.
It's just so appealing. But the fact that it's not local at all, like LCS is not localized, there's no team thing holding you there. At least for Man United people in PSG, they can be like, our clubs have 50 plus years of hundreds, if not years of
you're
history.
still playing into the culture. Like those people still have to live in that area, do that thing. Like the only thing you're doing here is like these players will come in, they'll play the games, and like
they have nothing to do with me. So I'd literally have to go out of my way to become a Team Falcon fan and cheer for a team that I clearly think is backed by something I don't truly believe is great.
I mean, if 100 Thieves is out next year, I'm fucked. Like,
yeah,
dude, just.
And which one's more interesting to Riot? Definitely the team that actually is interested in spending the most for a competitive roster. But at the same time, will they break their morals for that? Is the question.
I mean, they will. They've already allowed the Esports World Cup to happen. Why the fuck would
they
not?
I was gonna say. I feel like they will.
This is that, when you're out drinking and once the seal has been broken, it's been broken. You're gonna be pissing five more times in the next 3 hours. Like, dude, it is. I don't know. Like, from the 100 Thieves point of view, it's just like, I need management to make a fucking decision and just talk about it publicly, because this constant back and forth privately of we want to be in the league, we don't want to be in, well, they've never once said that they want to be in the league. It's only been rumors of we don't want to be in the league and then we didn't leave. Like, it's never like nobody within 100 Thieves at all has come out and said explicitly, hey, we really like the LCS. We love where it's heading. We want to be a part of it. Not once has anybody said it. And it's like, I don't know what you do at this point. Like, if I'm getting really pissed off, to be honest. Like, really pissed off. And I know, hey, Alan W. Or Alan W5 Pandering. Thank you for the sub. I know Nadeshot did like that Call of Duty podcast this morning. I tweeted out the clip of him saying that they went to the board and got budget approval to go over on the Call of Duty and Valorant rosters. And I'm just sitting there thinking, okay, the league team's going to get fucked because of this. Because you don't just have money magically everywhere. You're going to have them cut elsewhere in order to make up for that. So the league team is going to get screwed if we're around next year. On top of that, I get that Nadeshot knows nothing about League of Legends and that was like a Call of Duty podcast. That's fine, but it's just like, it was just further proof of like, I just want somebody in the org to talk publicly about League. I just want to feel like I'm cared about and not the fucking ugly. I feel like Cinderella and the fucking ugly, or whatever the siblings are. Ugly stepsisters. Like, I feel like that's Call of Duty.
Maybe that's you.
Yeah, that's me. That's Call of Duty. That's Valorant. And then there's little old me over here flailing my arms trying to be like, hey, give us some love and attention.
And going to Worlds is supposed to be the prince, but it didn't work at all. Really, for them. Like, I don't think it changed much of what 100 Thieves thought about League of Legends, and it not going well is even worse.
No, oh god. Oh god. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, maybe we have a bad read.
We have the only read you can, but that's why I love having, like, this is why I tell people not to tell me rumors and shit, because like I can be straight off the dome with it and just say how we're feeling on this, because we have no insight. We can just base it on what's publicly facing. And if there's people behind the scenes that are going, oh, well, that's not actually accurate, that's not fair, then come out and fucking say something.
Yep.
But you won't. So then, like, this is going to be the narrative that, like, I end up going with. Like, until you say something to prove it always. I mean, that's why I raised the question on Tomo's contract earlier today. His contract being updated.
They answered actually quick.
And Jungle Juice went further in the Discord, and he was like, basically, it was a Riot issue, not ours, because there was a drama with like 100 Thieves fucking up contracts on the Valorant side earlier this year.
Okay.
He came out and was like, no, it was he was always signed to that point. It's just updating in the contract because Riot messed it up. But Jungle Juice came out and was like, the 2 weeks of pay is nothing. Like, why would you take an org hit over 2 weeks of pay? And I was like, I know that makes sense, but we're still going to ask the question because maybe that's Tomo, shooting a signal flare to the market, being like, hey, I'm looking for a team. I mean, he's a free agent, so he can do what he wants. Well, it's not trying to get out. He's a free agent. He's allowed to do what he wants. So it's just a matter of like getting on the market earlier than everybody else, because everybody else's contracts end on November 19th, even if obviously all the deals will be done well before then.
I mean, there is no reason if you're a 100 Thieves player to feel like the org is going to be there next year. Honestly, if you're one of them, I think you're hoping Falcon buys the slot or the spot.
So you can get
because, yeah, you'd get paid, bro, if they wanted to keep you.
Well, I mean, Tomo, yeah, but like for Sniper,
Quid would get so much cash.
No, they wouldn't.
Why wouldn't Quid?
Because why does Falcon have to do anything? Quid and Sniper are on contract through 2025. They don't have to do shit.
Oh, then they can just keep them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then what's wild is you could keep the two of them, and then River's a free agent and Tomo's a free agent. Knowing if Falcons came in, Ayla's getting the boot 100%.
Yeah.
And they're like, you'll throw, this is a made up number, but they throw like $1 million a player for the other 3 roles. And then you just have Sniper and Quid sitting there on 70 or like basically like 90K deals. And it's like, motherfucker, if I have to buy a single coffee for being late when you're over here being a millionaire because Falcons came in and I got fucked with the timing, how's this fair? It's like, oh.
I mean, the nice thing though about Falcons buying out your team slot is that if you play well one more year, you're playing into an actual crazy deal.
Yeah.
Like possibly. Like that's what you're playing into. The bad things about Falcons coming to the scene right now is that I don't think LCS needs, and it could crush LCS having another money injection like this.
Oh, it's gonna be terrible.
This artificial. It's
everybody needs to scale back. You have to, and it's gonna be such a hard pill for Steve and JoJo Steve and Jack and everybody else to swallow, to be like, do we just give up one of our world slot? Like, do we give up those first 2 international tournaments if these guys are going to come in and overpay the shit out of everybody? Like,
yeah,
because like even the players, like if you're TL and you're FlyQuest, like you're looking at it and APA is probably like, bro, that's a bag. Like, I don't care what my contract is now. You're offering me $1 million and you're going to pay my buyout? Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah. I mean, for real, that's a lot of money. Like, if they wanted to, they could just buy all of TL and.
Oh, dude, you could see a world where, I mean, it would be. This is why I think if Riot was smart, they would block it. I don't think you want Falcons in the LCS. I really don't.
No.
Because I think if they come in, you fuck up. Like, you basically have every other org. Somebody either needs to go get money to be able to compete with them, which they won't, because it's not a smart idea to do, and all the venture capital money is dried up entirely. Or like you admit that it's cooked and that it's done and that nobody can compete with them. Like, all the top talent will always want to play for Falcons because they got that bag. It's like playing for the Yankees. And like, maybe that's a compelling storyline for some. Maybe. But like, I don't like it at all. And the sad thing is, it's like, it's entirely on Riot at this point to block it. This is what I hope everybody takes away from this conversation is like, Falcons coming into the LCS is purely Riot's choice. Because Falcons are trying to both pay for the 100 Thieves slot and get the guest spot. So Riot's either going to say fuck you and a middle finger to Disguised Toast by letting them in the guest slot, or let them take over 100 Thieves, know that they're in the league, and they're free to do whatever they want money-wise forever.
Yep. If you put them in the guest spot, you can at least try to play off like they could lose out of the league. But we all know deep down they can buy any roster to stay in.
These guys are all like, these players aren't dumb. They're looking around saying like, yeah, C9's cutting budgets, 100 Thieves is already break even, TL's probably not going to spend, I mean, all that much. There's no salary cap. There can never be a salary cap in the LCS until players unionize, and players are going to see that. Like, I hope you understand, players are going to see this and never unionize now.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, this is solely on Riot's shoulders to block Falcons from coming in and destroying the ecosystem entirely. The more I think about it and finally get the chance to talk about this now, the more I'm seeing this as just dangerous.
I mean, it's
Dangerous,
even
dangerous.
worse if they get the rotating spot to me, because it's like, if you give them that one,
Yeah, you're
like, what's the
never
point
getting
of
a
a
team
rotating
promoting.
spot?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're destroying the whole idea of tier 2, and I know tier 2 is already pretty beat up right now, but there's nobody's gonna have hope that they're winning their way in, because you're gonna have to try to beat some insane team. And I think in the rotating spot, they're trying to say something about how, like, all of this is rumors because nobody wants to say anything concrete. But there's like rumors that if you do well enough, you can keep it too. And if that's true,
There are?
then what's the point?
Wait,
Well, if
when?
you win LCS or something,
Oh, I mean, that's the
like, you would
Valorant
have
thing,
to
but
win.
they can't make that rule. Because then
Riot's not doing that, because I was
there's no
hearing that could
way.
be a thing.
There's no way.
Okay,
You can't do that.
all
Because
right.
that defeat, like you said, that
I wasn't hearing that.
the
I was reading.
whole I mean, well, the thing is, that is the thing in Valorant, but you can only do that in Valorant because there's 2 slots available. Like, there's always one slot that is at risk for promotion relegation. So
Okay.
you basically make it so that what the worst of the two, promotion relegation teams is subject to relegation at all times. So
Okay.
if that's the LCS and you only have one slot, you can't do that because one team
Mhm.
has to be subject to promotion relegation.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Which then you're talking about, that's insane, making a team play. I mean, if this team ends up being good, you're
What's up,
playing
couples?
oh, you're playing regular season, international. You're playing regular season. Let's say you lose, so you don't go to the second international. Then you do another regular season into whatever we do with Brazil, and then after that you could have to play Worlds. Then you have to do a relegation tourney. Those players are gonna have crazy schedules. That's gonna be absurd if
well,
they're
no, the
competitive.
relegation tournament is only at the end of each year.
Yeah, so it'd be at the end of the
Yeah,
season,
yeah.
right after
Oh,
Worlds.
sorry. I thought
Yeah, that's what I'm.
I'm sorry. I thought you said like in
Oh, you're
between
good.
each
I'm
one.
just
Sorry,
saying,
my bad.
doing that whole season, like if you make a Worlds run, and let's say you miss one of the 3 international tourneys, you've done 2 international tournaments, 3 regular season whatevers, and then you have to go do a relegation series. Like, I get you can get paid a lot, but at some point you gotta go, if you're Riot, be like, this is kind of silly.
I guarantee. Okay, so here's my guess. Like, thinking through this, because I know the people at Ryan are dumb. I know they're not. They might make selfish decisions, but they don't make, like, everything is done for a reason. I'm willing to bet any money Team Falcon will not be in the guest spot.
You do.
I'm willing to bet any money on that. Yeah.
I think that's smart, because I think, well,
I
Riot's made a lot of dumb decisions,
they,
but I think that's too dumb for
they
them.
but they've made dumb decisions, but with intentions that go elsewhere that just aren't thought out. But like, they don't make. I haven't seen Riot make, like. Okay, that's not fair. Riot does make dumb decisions. I'm trying to think of the right way to say it, but it's not like uninformed dumb. It's just like, I don't know. Like, okay, you know how, like, there's
Not
people.
this bad.
Yeah, you know how there's a difference between people that make a decision and it turns out badly,
Hmm.
and just a completely uninformed decision. Like, it's not like
Yep.
you can think something is going to go right in your head because you have this plan set, but the plan doesn't work out and you don't do the right things. And somebody is just like, fuck it, we're going to try it. And that doesn't work
Yep.
out. Like, there's obviously a difference between the two. Riot falls within the first category of, like, their underlying facts behind the decisions I don't agree with a lot of the time. But I'm not going to sit here and say they're just throwing shit against the wall. I would like to think that, like, they have people that are at least trying to think this through, even if we don't agree on the logic to get there.
Yep.
With that in mind, I don't think there's a world where they let Falcons have that rotating slot. Here's my prediction. Oh, man, this is going to come back to bite me in the ass. I'm predicting that Falcons is 100% going to be in the LCS next year.
100% gonna be.
As much as I don't want it to be, I feel like they are. Because it will be a 3-way conditional deal with Riot, Falcons, and 100 Thieves. Falcons buys 100 Thieves slot. Riot gives 100 Thieves the guest slot. Riot is currently stuck deciding between 100 Thieves and Disguised Toast on who they want to give that guest slot to.
I can see that. Now, 100 Thieves in the guest slot, how worried are you? I'm going to say as a 100 Thieves fan, you're probably pretty worried.
I'm not worried about getting relegated, to be honest.
Really?
No, that doesn't bother me. I worry about the intention of the business. That's what I worry about. What I worry about is like in a world where we do get relegated, are they committed to making it back?
Doubt it.
That's my problem. That's where I have the issue. If I knew 100% that we were taking that promotion relegation spot, but hey, even if we drop down, you know what? We ain't going anywhere. We're staying and we're going to fight our way back up. And you know what? It's going to be a great story when we rise up with an even better roster. And we're going to be one of the staples of the league. But
yeah. My one thing about 100 Thieves getting in over Disguised, and I'm not a fan of them, so I think some people would probably agree with me, but obviously this is going to be annoying for you and most of your fan base to hear, is that honestly I think Disguised would be better in my perspective for the slot than 100 Thieves, because I think Toast does more for engagement than 100 Thieves does.
Oh, 100%. Luna.
And I would rather see them get the slot, to be honest. I think I'm kind of in the tier of like, but 100 Thieves for me has kind of crushed their street cred in LCS by looking like they care less than Dig, which is insane. Like that's an insane thing to say. But they kind of give off the vibe that the org, not the players, the org seems like they care less than Dig's org towards like LCS and growing that brand. Dig at least tried to like do some different stuff with content. They went and grabbed a random roster to try to make a push. 100 Thieves picked the most budget roster they could. It worked at their unfortunately for them, to be honest, but fortunately, Jungle Juice is really good at did a great job of finding coaches and made it work. Did really good on a budget, and that panned out. And I'm not really interested in another org that just constantly does budget and hopes it works out.
I mean, to be fair, it's not like Disguise has money to really spend either.
Well,
so like,
yeah,
I think from the money point of view,
fair.
I don't think it's a fair. I don't think that point matters. I think they're ultimately like in similar shoes when it comes to financing.
Well, money wasn't what I was worried about. I mean,
no,
like
it's
for
the
100
effort.
Thieves.
I know.
It's doing budget and that effort, like add those two together. I'm not a fan. Like Dig, at least is in a position where Dig went budget, then they tried to unbudget it, and then they've been trying with content, so there's some effort there. I'm still not a huge fan of Dig, but it looks like they're semi-trying. And then you look at 100 Thieves, who's like not really doing budget, also like kind of slashed their content, it seems like. And then simultaneously, like, had a weekend where they didn't even tweet out their LCS team playing a pretty big match. Like, they had to be kind of bothered about it. That seemed kind of awkward, that you just forget you forget your team's playing. And then on top of it all, like, now I'm sitting here like, well, let's see what Disguise can do. At least if we're cleaning house, let's clean house. Like, let's see what other people can do. I mean, realistically, is having 100 Thieves in over Shopify better? Probably Shopify did not impress me at all.
For now,
but
at least,
we're stuck with Shopify because they promised that they see something in LCS and they're going to try really hard. I don't know what any of that means.
I mean, I have faith in them. I've talked to like Retro, I've talked to like people that do their content, and
they have a concept of a plan.
Yeah, they have a concept of a plan.
Okay.
So it's one of those where like I don't like what they did with their first year. I think you pissed your first year away really, really badly.
Oh yeah.
But year 2, you got to come out the gates swinging. If year 1 for them was like, hey, we're gonna sit back, relax, and learn, you better hit the ground fucking running this year. And if I don't see you going to all the steps that I would go to, then no, you haven't met my standards, and you didn't learn. You literally didn't learn.
Yeah.
I It sucks because honestly, I get your perspective, and I'm trying to remove my bias from the situation. And you're right. Like, you are entirely right where it's like 100 Thieves definitely has more fans right now. Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
that's undeniable, uncontestable, but like Nadeshot being so hands off, Yasuo having no fucking contact with the org. Like,
Mm.
who is there from 100 Thieves that makes you feel like they genuinely care on a week in, week out basis about League of Legends that isn't a direct player or staff that's within day to day operations? Who?
Yeah. I mean, that's my problem. And there are good points in the chat people have made. Like some of them said, budget over 100 Thieves has only done budget for 1 year. Dig did it for like 6 before this last split,
That's
which
fair.
is a good
That's
point.
fair.
And it is like, yeah, there's only so many good players in the league. That's also fair. Like 100 Thieves can only do so much. It's just my issue is they've been talking about leaving for a minute now, for
100
about a
Thieves, yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you're Dig never talks about leaving, they just tried to coast with doing bad. But now that they're trying to change that and you can tell they're putting efforts towards it, that to me is building more good faith. And 100 Thieves is still in this weird like limbo where I feel like every time I hear a new rumor, it's are they staying, are they going?
Yeah.
I mean, the one good thing I had as an NRG fan is they were so unknown and there's so little fans of them that nobody cared to rumor mill that they were leaving.
Yep.
They just up and one day it was told they're selling, they're done and they're gone. So I mean that's not wasn't great for me, but at least they're a bunch of nobodies enough that they could just get out of here. Like 100 Thieves is like just stringing you guys along as fans. And they're not really like, in my opinion, putting a ton into it. And when they did win, it seemed like they didn't expect it, to be honest.
I mean,
Like it seemed kind of shocking, and you went right back to not caring after. Almost. Right after you lost.
it's tough because I can't fight back against anything that you're saying. Because it's weird because I'm trying to mince my words to a certain extent. And I'll acknowledge that I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Because it's like I don't want to get on the org's bad side. And I don't know how to say it without feeling egotistical about it. So I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut on it. I think that's the better way to do it.
Fair.
But the thing that I'll just say is that it annoys me because it's like I want to relax and enjoy Worlds. Because like I create content beyond just 100 Thieves. Like obviously we have the pit, we have everything else. Like I just genuinely enjoy Worlds as a tournament. But when the team that I care about most, I can't get any sort of solid fucking grip on whether we're going to be here next year or not, it does begin to encroach in and overshadow parts of the tournament for me.
Yep.
I mean, part of that's also not helped by it being in the LEC studio, which already has me turned off a little bit. I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm not excited for the crowd. I went back, by the way, this morning and watched the first 2 games from Worlds 2022 group stage. Dude, it's night and day different. Oh
good.
my god. Oh my god. But
Yeah, that is bad.
Jake, the thing is you can't rely on Noah Lyles. Like my thing is like Noah's got his own life and his own thing going on. It's great that he's a 100 Thieves fan, but you're never going to be able to make much more out of that because like the dollar tag that he's going to require to like be involved like that.
Yeah.
like other than like a one-off piece of content he'll do, but like he's got his own professional career to do. Like he can't do much.
Yeah,
They made
that's
a few
fair.
graphics with it, and like we're acknowledging there, but like I remember the times. I mean, granted, it was all connections with like Scooter Braun, but like yeah, Ariana Grande, it releases a new single, and Courage is on it within 72 hours of like making a music video and then like utilizing the connections that they all have, like that. I don't know. That felt like a different time.
I I just don't. Yeah, I don't see it from him, and that's like pretty annoying because you're sitting here like watching LCS teams try to turn this thing around. So you are going to be extra like you're going to scrutinize a lot harder these days. Everybody is going to, because we're expecting this product to be turned around. And let's be honest, like this, it's not in the greatest place. It's slowly getting better. But like when you look at how international events do, when you look at how LSC's been doing lately, how even Brazil's doing, like we don't want to really fall behind all of them. And then on top of that, like not great for the confidence, but I get this as being a negative Nancy. 100 Thieves losing the
Nah,
way they
I
lost.
honestly that has no bearing on my faith in FlyQuest and TL, because think about it,
Oh yeah,
we
yeah,
got our shit pushed in heavily by them when we played them. It wasn't even
yeah.
close.
No, what I'm saying is like knowing our third place team, like realistically, 100 Thieves was kind of, it just is what it is. C9 wasn't looking much better. Like knowing our third place team is in that position where we're like, oh, we are not that deep right now. And we're about to be doing these like America's tourneys where hopefully our depth can shine, but now I'm kind of like, I don't know if our depth is really gonna
I
shine as good
I
because
think it will once TL beats LNG tomorrow.
okay.
I think when that happens, everybody all of a sudden is gonna get back on the ship. But I do want to finish out the 100 Thieves point, because Khan brought it up. Uh, he said, "But courage?" Question mark. Bro, I was so pissed when I saw the Nate Shot tweet of like him possibly like joining the Optic co-stream, like Scump's co-stream for Call of Duty. I'm thinking, why the fuck would you not do your own? Are you out of your mind? 100 Thieves fans need a hub. That's the whole point of why Scump did it. And like you're a good personality, you can have people on and converse and like do your thing. Like I know you want to be with your boys, but like you got a brand to worry about. You got to build up 100 Thieves. And it's like we've talked about that a billion freaking times over when it comes to the LCS. Is like, bro, just follow the Optic formula. It's not hard. Like it's so clear to me that like as excited as Nate is about like this roster that he's put together for like the LA Thieves, like he still seems like somewhat checked out a little bit to me when it comes to the fucking like cutthroat decisions you need to have to grow a brand. I don't know if that's just me that gets that perception. Oh, Paul's gone. Paul's back.
I don't know what was happening. My internet just like randomly died with Discord because I was listening to your
No,
rant on YouTube or whatever you were saying on YouTube, but I couldn't hear it on here. That
no.
was weird. But yeah, I think I agree with most of what you said. I missed some of it because I was trying to figure out what was going on with my internet.
Yeah.
So I can't really add a ton of good conversation continuation, but
Final thing
it is it
Oh,
is
oh,
very
go.
tough.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like I think the worst spot to be in right now is being the 100 Thieves fans. You're all in a position where it's like, does my org actually want to be here or not? Like even orgs like Shopify are saying they want to be here, but yours isn't, like, and yours has a lot of history. I mean, that's a very awkward position to be in.
I will continue to put this out there publicly. Let me help.
True.
Let me help. I've been saying this from the jump.
That is true.
Like it doesn't take much. It really doesn't. We just start slow. The thing that I've proposed for New York is like, let me build up 100 Thieves fandom here. Give me the resources so that we can have, like, I can like tell people like, hey, we're gonna have watch parties for every single 100 Thieves match, somewhere in the city. And like, if I'm part of the org and you're paying me, I can make sure that I make it a point to be there and like schedule around it because I'm getting paid. Whereas now, like, if I'm not getting paid for these watch parties, I can't always just be like tell people like, hey, this is happening here. Or like, I have, for those that don't know, I teach golf up in Queens on Sundays. So like anything Sunday I can't currently do. But if I had the opportunity to solely focus on growing fandom, I would make sure there's a watch party for every single 100 Thieves game in New York City. So 100 Thieves fans had a chance to go and watch every single game in person with other people. On top of that, I've already had conversations with some of the LAN spaces around here in PC cafes about trying to do more like actual League of Legends tournaments. Let's do a League of Legends tournament sponsored by 100 Thieves. Okay? Like the New York Major, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And just like, it's open, first X many teams that sign up, like, well, doesn't have to be much prizing, but you have a little bit of merch that you give away. You have a trophy and like this whole thing of just like this AM tournament in New York City put on by 100 Thieves because we're playing into the New York City local community. On top of that, I'll do a trivia night every other week, or like once, like at minimum once a month, and we make content out of that because guess what? Trivia videos do well on YouTube. So we make a whole like trivia thing behind it and like give people some history behind like the org and a bunch of our stuff. Like there's so much stuff that you can fucking do. And I like think about that. That's at least per month. At least 2 in-person events in New York City every single month, let alone the weekly matches. Like we could 100. Then you get people used to it. Then you start building up and you keep doing that year upon year upon year. And you start adding into the fandom. And then you can start doing content shoots. Hey, maybe Nate Shot wants to come out to New York for one of those times and comes and joins the dude. There's so much shit that we could do to start growing this, and it doesn't take much. I've got all the connections as is. We can make this happen with just a little bit of money, a little bit of time, and it's not like it is worth more than whatever thousands of dollars you're probably spending to put some of your YouTube videos and ads.
I can't wait to see what you have to do with this. This is the worst reality for you. I'm just waiting for your monkey paw girl when League of Legends events are coming and they're sponsored by an LCS team. That LCS team, Team Falcon.
You know what pisses me off the most?
What? They would.
So apparent for those that don't know, there is going to be a World's Finals event going on here in New York City.
Really?
I don't know to what extent. I just know there's going to be something going on. But G2 is also hosting their own private event here for finals.
What, in New York?
They've been doing Valorant watch parties. They're going to be doing the World's Finals watch party, which is great because I don't have to worry about it this year because I'll be on vacation. But it is low-key annoying that like I want to help. And even like I haven't heard from anybody in G2 at all. It's like, guys, come on. I can let me help you promote this shit. I want what's best for the New York City League of Legends community. Why has nobody been in contact? Like I'll go out in dude, I haven't done one of these videos in a long time, but if you want me to help with the marketing and promotion for this, I'll go stand in Washington Square Park and do league trivia.
Yep.
And like start talking to people just for shits and giggles, but then also like tell them like, hey, if you want to watch World's Finals, like do World's Trivia, and by the way, you can watch World's Finals at OSNYC. G2 sponsoring it. But why the fuck, as LCS brands, are we letting G2 host it in New York City? What are we doing? Like all love to G2 by all means. If they for some reason hear this, Please do not take this as me not being appreciative of you doing events here in New York City and you being willing to host it. But how fucking piss poor is it that no North American team is willing to step up and take that mantle, that G2 has to come in and do it themselves?
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. G2 being the only one that's doing it is insane. And I hate that it. I was joking a little bit, but it's also serious. Like I think Falcon would probably put more money into outreach than anybody else, but also like I get for the people who will work there, they'll have more of a budget, right?
Yep.
They'll have more of a budget to do that. But at the same time, it makes you question like, what did the other orgs do to where they couldn't get a budget or they didn't see it as valuable to build those brands? Like, what are they doing?
First, I want to address with Sad School. He said, I live in NYC and I didn't know that was happening. That's because it's not announced yet, to be clear. That's me somewhat like leaking and getting it out there, but we're now a month away from the event and somebody should be fucking talking about it. Like,
yeah.
Do you like when I held the World's Finals watch party last year, like I had the venue set up like well in advance. Like literally like by this point last year, we already knew that it was going to be there. And I was already promoting the shit out of it as much as I could. Then we got the T1 add-on later in time. Like that was great and obviously helped out, but like bro, come on. And like I get that I'm not on EU Twitter, so like G2 doesn't like see me as much, but it is your responsibility if you're going to be trying to grow the New York City league scene that you know the people that are fucking here to help you grow the New York City league scene. Like, oh, bro, I want. There's so many people here that deserve so much more and so much better than what we're getting right now. It's so annoying. It bugs the shit out of me.
It's disappointing. Yeah, I'm just not. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of how Riot has handled, I guess, team construction and then how they incentivize them. Instead of incentivizing them to build fan bases in more like physical ways, which would have been good, I think they've kind of made teams believe like only blowing a lot of their money on rosters was the way to do it. Which I know isn't on Riot to tell them how to do it, but at the same time, they needed the nudge, I think, in the right direction.
I don't know if I believe that though. I mean, sure, like Riot probably could have told orgs and like led them in a better direction, but like on the org front, there's no way that everybody just thought, oh, we can ignore the in-person element of it. Riot told the orgs that they need to win to be popular. Well, then it's on the. I'm sorry, but it's on the orgs. Like you are one seat at that table. If Riot's telling you you need to win to be popular, you need somebody that's willing to have a fucking set of nuts to be able to push back against them, and say like, hey, nah, we could probably do it without winning.
Yeah.
Oh wait, K Corp did it. Oh wait, Mad Lions didn't win, but are developing a pretty heavy Spanish fandom. Like, oh my god, that's possible. Oh my god, really? Like, yeah, no shit. No shit.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Which I get that at the end of the day was on the teams. I just mean I wish Riot would have like maybe in meetings been like, hey, this is a really important thing that works in sports culture, which is localization, or at least making fans feel like they have a root to something. Like as little as people want to admit it, like it helps a lot in their space.
So much. It makes the difference everywhere. It's just like the gaming community and gamers in general. We think like they think that they're different, and that like the cultural norms don't apply to them because it's like it's separate. Gaming and esports are their own individual thing. It's like no, successful businesses are successful businesses. Like I don't know. Jake with a great point said hard to do what K Corp did is they have an owner who is a huge streamer and loves the game. That's why it's so important to partner with people if you have them in local areas to start building out the community and fandoms there. It's why I've been not even preaching, praying that Riot would update the league partner program so that I could get something that I can just like, hey, let's throw a tournament here. I'm a league partner, so I'm helping grow the game in partnership with you. I don't have to worry about stepping on anybody's toes. I can just check with Riot real quick and be like, hey, can I do this? Sweet. Yep. In-person event. Cool. Let's do it. And you start growing the game. Like, I just don't think, like...
That, you would think that they would look at Mad and Koi and K-Core and be like, hey, man, that worked really well. Look how big that's growing. What if we try to copy that success a little bit? I mean, it has to be a little bit organic, a little mix of copy it, but you can do both and make it work. I mean, to them, though, it will never matter because Play-ins did great viewership-wise. Worlds is about to do great viewership-wise.
It's going to be great.
They're just going to be happy with what they got from skin sales. They're going to continue to sell Hall of Legends stuff. They're going to continue to sell the World's team skin. And they're going to not care. If we're being honest. They just don't care. Like...
It's just tough because I don't know how to talk about this without being super egotistical. Because like
dude, we have not talked about Worlds.
I know, and that was the problem. Was this is gonna happen the second we went down this rabbit hole.
Finish your last point, and then we have to go to Worlds.
All right, last thing I'll say. I like to pitch myself one last time to people. Just give me a chance. All these things that we're talking about in terms of you have to start small, you have to find local communities, you have to be willing to build up and find somebody that's passionate about the game and passionate about a team, passionate about the space. Like, I don't know what more you want from me. Tell me and I'll do it. But just tell me. If there's something that I'm not doing, fine. Communicate with me. How can I improve and how can I be more productive? But from what I've seen, I feel like I'm being as productive as I can be with the resources that I have and with the time that I have. Like, I'm slowly growing my numbers, but the truth is, like, most importantly, you have no touch on the local space at all. That's the one thing where I can't show you social media numbers. I can just show you how many people show up to a spot. And I filled out enough spots at this point for that to speak for itself. So tell me what else I need to do. Just give me an answer and I will work on it and I will work to improve it and I will work to get to the point where we can just finally get this shit rolling. Because I'm telling you, we can do what K-Corp did here. We can make the New York City League thing its own cultural phenomenon. I know we can. Anyways.
And that's where you would expect them to grow it anyways. I mean, that's where you could actually do PC bangs and things like that. I mean, New York City has got to be... What? How many people are in New York City?
8 million in the 5 boroughs alone.
Okay.
Not including Jersey, not including Long Island, upstate New York, or Connecticut.
Yeah. Seoul is 10 million. New York is 8 million. If you want to make a haven that's going to produce as many kids as possible to be good at League of Legends, there's your haven. I mean, you're going to have to make cheap PC bangs. You know what I mean? Stuff that's affordable for kids, but...
It's not even that. It's just giving them an opportunity to experience the game.
Yeah. And get them involved.
Get them involved with the fandom. Have a consistent spot to watch. Have all this. Like, dude, we could do it. I'm telling you.
And I get it. I get it. Kids that need help getting access to the game probably aren't going to be buying a lot of skins. So what's the point in them? But
it's not even that. It's just
you're
like
growing the game. That's the goal.
Think about how much money we've generated just from like watch parties of people buying a beer and a burger.
Yep.
Like,
well, I mean, it's the thing that they're missing is what I need to stop. But this will be my
yeah,
last point. This is it. Is that one thing pro sports does well is instead of staring at kids in situations where they don't have the money to buy a jersey, right? Which is their version of skin sales, or money to buy a ticket. They look at them and go, hey, just get good enough to play the game at the best level you can. And that's your dream, is that you can one day play this professionally. And that gets them into it. They're not worried about the bottom line so much. They're not stressing over how much money they make. And maybe that's because the NFL has so much money it doesn't matter, and the NBA does too. But Riot is pretty stinking close to that so much money it doesn't matter tier. And they totally can help just build the infrastructure to make it popular in communities that would need that. And think of how good that would be for them PR wise. To be the people who helped build the infrastructure of gaming and Riot be basically a household name in NYC because they built that community. But I know they don't care, so
the
it doesn't
FGC
matter.
community here speaks for itself. And that's
Yeah,
purely a community run on
true.
just straight passion and just
True.
volume. But alas, speaking of passion, Worlds, Swiss stage,
True.
tomorrow.
Dude, you want to know something crazy about Worlds I did not think about or ever know until today?
What?
Did you see that tweet about ages of Worlds teams and how young FlyQuest
Oh
is?
yeah, how young FlyQuest is and how old
Bro,
TL is.
BLG is the second youngest team by far. You know Ben's only 21?
That's terrifying.
He's like so young, dude. Ben's young, Wei is 22, Elk is 22. Bro, they're so young. Knight's only like 24, I think, or 23. Dude, they could be around forever. This could be a
This
problem.
what? So here's my thing. I'm predicting Hanwha Life to win Worlds, but I would
Hmm.
like to see China win it again.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I miss the era of the LPL internationally.
yeah.
And I got a fun fact for you because I know you didn't check my Twitter prior to this episode. When was the last time that the LPL won Worlds?
The last time the LPL won Worlds.
Yep.
What, it would have been, what, 1, 2, 3 years ago?
What year?
Well, 4, I guess.
No, 3.
Now you're putting me on blast for
It would have been
basic math. I don't know, 2020?
2021. No,
No,
2020.
2020 was DK, so
Yeah.
2021, yeah.
How many Western teams got out of group stage that year?
In 2021,
Yep.
Western teams
Yep.
would have been, well, I don't actually know. Would G2 have even gotten out?
G2 did
Maybe
not.
one?
No.
One team?
One of them was C9.
Okay.
That was the year. Remember, they went 1 and 2 and then got out with the 2 and 4 tiebreaker. That was like the very beginning of our podcast too, by the way. Like early on in the podcast, where like you and I were like
Really?
really overreacting to that week one. Like we just need a miracle, and then we came in the second week. We're like, we made it. Nothing else matters.
Yeah.
We made it. Oh, who gives a shit? Perks week 2, it
Yeah.
worked out well. But there was another team that made it out with them from the West. Mad Lions. That was the Armut
Oh.
years.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Now answer me this. How many Western teams made it out of group stage in 2022?
22. I don't remember any. None?
1. Rogue.
Okay.
That was the year the LCS collapsed. We went 3 and 15. Rogue went 3 and 0 in the first week. Surprised everybody, but then went like 0 and 4 or like whatever they went the second week, but were able to like get out barely. 1 made it out. How many Western teams made it out last year?
But I don't even remember last year.
Yeah, you do.
What?
Yeah,
How am I this bad? How many teams made it out? The only team I remember making it out was NRG.
Exactly. They were the only Western team to make it out.
But it was so weird because I'm not used to whatchamacallit.
Swiss stage. Yeah, that's fair.
Swiss
That's fair.
stage. That's why I was struggling to think like, Swiss.
The
Yeah.
the LPL has never won a Worlds where the West didn't have at least 2 teams get out of Swiss stage or group stage.
At least 2.
At least 2. Never.
Okay.
If you want the LPL to win Worlds, at least 2 Western teams have to get out of the Swiss stage at Worlds this year. And that does not mean that it has to be at the stake of the LCK teams. Because in 2021, whenever EDG went on to win it all, there were only 2 teams that made it out from China that entire out of group stage that year. And they faced each other in the first round. All 4 LCK teams got out in 2021. All 4 LCK teams got out in 2022. And the only reason that 3 got out last year was because KT beat D plus Kia to team kill because NRG was already out. Otherwise, all 4 teams would have gotten out. It does not matter how many Korean teams get out. For the LPL's sake, you need to be willing to sacrifice 2 of your teams at the altar just to make sure that 2 Western teams get. It can't be PSG, has to be 2 Western teams. If we get 2 Western teams out, the LPL can then win Worlds. So BLG, you better Tanya Harding the kneecaps of somebody, okay, to make sure that we get out. Because that is your only chance.
This is the dumbest. This is such a you thing.
2021, Mad Lions and C9. 2020, multiple teams out, more than just one. But hey, that's the minimum that you need to happen. Okay, it might not have happened. Unfortunately, G2 was not able to beat Damwon, and they fell. China was not able to do it. 2019, okay, 3 European teams out. 2018, C9, G2, Fnatic, Invictus Gaming. Yeah, you need us. If you want to win China, you need us. We are your saviors. We are the reason you will win Worlds. Without us, you can't do it. Okay?
You're something else, bro. This insane stuff that you look up to try to make correlation research work is always so absurd.
But I find a way. China's not fine with it. Look, the proof is in the pudding. Have they ever done it without us? By us, I mean the West. Bro. Have they ever done it without the West? No, they have not. When the West is not good, China cannot win.
Do you think it also had, and I'm not saying this,
G2
that
being
your
the
theory's
Korea
wrong.
killers for 2 years.
Well, also, could it have had something to do with the Korean exodus and how Korea kind of had to get a rebuild through and getting their players, promoting them up, teaching them, and then finally came back strong again? No?
Nope.
It's just correlation to 2 Western teams.
Because, look, I don't know why, but they need our help. Okay? They do.
All right.
We owe it to China at a minimum to do it for them. If the West isn't going to win it, okay? We at least cut Korea. We at least cut Korea out of it, okay? Korea is the main villain of this story, okay? Heavy is the crown. Yes, it is for their region. And it's about time we all join up together and knock them the fuck off their high tower. Okay? I'm tired of seeing T1 fighting fans all in my TikTok. Okay? I'm done with it.
The good thing for you is I think T1 loses the top.
I mean, the worst thing is I don't think they do.
The bad thing for you is that I don't think Gen G is very beatable if they're like pissed off, and then I think Hanwha Life happens to be really good at League of Legends too, so you could be in trouble with your theory.
Hey, no,
but maybe it works.
Nah, I already said it from the beginning. Okay, Korea's getting all 4 teams out unless they kill each other in the group stage or Swiss stage. Yeah, bro, the numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah.
They don't lose to anybody but themselves when it comes to the group stage and getting out.
T1 and DK do feel very like they have some flaws.
Their flaws are once they get to once they get to a knockout like elimination series, like all of a sudden it's I forgot how to play. Okay, that's how we do it. But I do agree in general. I think DK and T1 like
I was gonna say I think
beatable. Like
I think they're beatable.
Being dead serious, I do think that we will get 2 Western teams out this year.
Do I think DK is beatable by Fnatic? No.
No, but I think my eyes, whichever one of Fnatic or not Fnatic, whichever one of FlyQuest and TL like clicks better in the tournament, just has better chemistry, has a better read on the meta. Like I don't know which one of them it's going to be. Whichever one does it better is going to get out, and I think G2 gets out. Barring one of the most tragic draws you've ever seen in your life after round 1.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like pretty good for the 2 1 seeds for the West.
Oh,
they have a
if FlyQuest lose to Gam, it's going to be a problem. Same with G2.
Yeah, it's going to be really bad. I will say, like, the other, I don't know. BLG, well, is probably gonna take Mad to the cleaners.
I hope so, but it would be hilarious if they didn't.
It would be very funny.
It would be
I would laugh very hard.
Oh, dude, Dom would be crying. Bro, that's Dom's worst nightmare.
Brother, imagine. I'm not sure that Mad top laner is gonna survive.
Frescowie. Or no, is that it? Is that
no, he's the
mid laner.
Other guy. Frescowie is the mid laner. Supa's the ADC, right?
Yeah, who's their top laner? Why am I forgetting?
It's like Mirwin or something.
Mirwin, yeah, thank you.
I think he could, brother, it could be trouble.
Yeah.
Like, this could be the end. We might be sitting there watching him and being like, it's time to hang him up, brother. It's time to give it up.
Look, here's the thing I'll say, though.
He got worked in play-ins, of all things. Play-ins.
I mean, sure.
And they still won without him.
Hold up. Let me look this up. Before I speak out my ass and start, like, doing made-up numbers again, let me just make sure I'm correct on this. Okay. Splice. Okay. Yeah, I feel a little bit more confident on this now. You know, Splice nearly didn't get out of the play-in stage in 2019 Worlds. They had a full 5-game series against Unicorns of Love.
Okay.
Do you remember how many European teams got out in 2019 group stage?
Nope.
All of them.
All 3?
All 3.
Well, Mad didn't struggle in play-ins.
Exactly. And we're on European soil again.
Oh,
so there's a chance that all 3.
Okay, bro.
All 3 could do it.
So you mean to tell me, and you mean this, that Noah is going to take on DK?
I mean, everybody in that matchup is brainless, if we're being honest. Okay. Like, DK and Fnatic, that's a monkey match to the fullest. There's going to be no macro, all hands.
Bro.
Okay? No brains, all shitting the bricks.
I mean, you have known not big game show up guy. Who is it? Humanoid versus Showmaker.
They're playing in the studio. It's fine.
That's true.
It's not a stadium. You don't have to worry about them choking as bad.
And the problem for MDK, I will say, it's a slight issue. It's not huge. Is that in play-ins, yes, they could abuse those bottom lanes. Did I disconnect again?
No, you're here. He was here.
All right, I'm back. I don't know what happened, but I'm saying the problem could be, and I'm not saying this is a massive issue, but it could become one, is that instead of playing a play-in bot lane, they do have to go up against, like, you know, a decent bot lane on BLG. They're just okay, we'll say. They're just all right. We're not going to overhype them. They're not that good, I guess. They're only just one of the better bot lanes out there.
I don't mess against good vibes and a good time.
I mean, I do think the guy for Mad did really good. I think there's a bit of a harder matchup when you have to face On. I think On is just okay at League of Legends, and things do get harder. But maybe I'm wrong, and maybe everything goes perfect.
I have a dream.
You wouldn't be the first person to say that, which is insane. The guy said TL will beat LNG.
Oh, no, I believe that.
I know you do.
We nearly beat T1 last year. You're telling me we can't beat LNG?
I will say this, of all the games, I think BLG MDK feels already decided. Genji Weibo feels decided. Hanwha Life PSG, I think we know how that's going to go. Fly Gam, G2 PNG.
Hanwha Life PSG, I think, is actually going to be an interesting one. We'll get a real sense of like, can PSG stand up to anybody? Because like Hanwha's not expected to be one of the best teams there, so.
Yeah. I think Fnatic DK for me is pretty decided, but there are people out there who know a lot about League of Legends. I think this will be a banger of like a fiesta, and you're saying it too, so I get your argument for that. And the ones to watch will be TL LNG and TES T1. Those will be like the two most interesting. TES T1 will be interesting.
I'm legitimately excited for every single game.
So I mean, yeah, I'm just saying those will be the ones that are like most competitive.
Do you know what I did to hype myself up for the Swiss stage? Okay, in addition to going back and watching the first day of games, okay, I rewatched the last 15 minutes twice in a row of Top Esports versus GAM. A matchup that nobody thought that GAM would have a chance at winning. And yet somehow they did by abusing a bug a little bit. Okay, we're not going to mention that part. But I heard the crowd going nuts. Okay, granted, the crowd will be approximately, hang on, let me just really quick. Wait, is that right?
Chat's not happy that you think Hanwha Life.
The crowd is approximately 18.3 times smaller, okay, than it was in that stadium when Top Esports and GAM had their matchup. But I have faith in the same way that I see it in chat, okay? And I know it's just con. Pain can beat Brazil. Or Pain can beat G2. Pain could do it, okay?
All right.
They might flip some cars in the process, okay? Burn down an entire city while they're doing it. But I feel like they could.
Chad also is upset at your Hanwha Life take.
What? The Hanwha Life
that you think that PSG could.
I have Hanwha Life winning the entire thing, people. Relax. It's one game. It's a best of one. Okay? So chill. Chill. Okay?
Also, the people saying Healy's right. These people are getting a first-time taste of the stats you bring up that are so stupid because you can use Excel, so you'll have a dumb idea and go sit in Excel for like 30 minutes to fix it up.
I had no clue what my video was gonna be for tonight's TikTok. I had no clue. So I just started thinking like I started replaying like the different worlds like results of the past years and be like, it's been a while since China's won. I wonder what happened when they won. And I was like, 2 teams out. I wonder if that's a thing. And then I just started investigating and I started going through all the different worlds. And like, it just takes one crazy idea and then you just go with it. And eventually you find some sort of thread or some sort of statistical anomaly, okay, that helps prove your point.
Oh,
okay? And it works like a charm every time.
And
if you think, by the way, just for anybody that's not used to my logic or anybody that might be new around here, I will find something new the next time, okay? I always find something to prove my point. welcome to what hopium actually looks like if you know how to use statistics. Okay? That's what hopium actually is. Not this, oh, NA's going to win. Why? No, NA's not going to win, but we're going to help China win. Okay? That's the hopium angle. And by hoping that China wins, it technically goes against my pick'ems, of which I had Hanwha Life winning, of which I just said that Hanwha Life might get beat by PSG in the first round. Welcome to the chaos, friends. It only gets worse from here. I promise. It's not going to get better. This is me at international events with this smile that you think that I'm part of Smile 2, okay?
And then I'm the one guy sitting there like, oh man, the best team that showed up to win didn't win. That's sad. And I walk away. Everyone's like, look at that good old upset. And I'm like, I wasn't here for an upset. I was here to watch greatness. That's about it. I mean, people don't realize how bad I need FaZe to win so that I can start saying FaZe is on the career path of Faker. Like, I need it so bad. The second Faker retires and FaZe is on his, like, second Worlds, I can be like, yeah, he's about to surpass Faker. Like, you know how quickly when Georgia won that second national title, I was telling people, well, Saban has 6, Kirby's at 2. He's actually starting to catch up, and people got so mad at me.
Oh god. Oh god. Call Healy, shut the fuck up. Oh god.
We are, I will say this, Worlds could be one of the most exciting or least exciting because of the fact that the West is in such a weird place and people are starting to believe that they can win again. And the hopium I'm seeing starting to seep out is worrying me because I know how crushed people get when they start to believe.
Yeah, because your team never made it out, so it's like,
yeah,
you've been there, you know that. Like, well, I take that back. Your team did, but your team also doesn't exist in the LCS anymore. So
yeah, I was gonna say they made it out once.
Yeah, last year.
I mean, people still really tried to discredit that. Well, TSM made it out once.
Yeah, I know.
But it's not good when people start believing. It gets bad.
Grumar, welcome to the funhouse. Look, I will admit, I have a lot of crazy takes on shit. Okay, but that's what makes it fun. Okay, if you wanted sane takes, you would just go listen to Dom and LS. That's not why you're here. Okay, you're here for the delusional guy that will try and give you any sort of answer to a problem that's probably not solvable, but you still gotta have hope anyways.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta remember, this is the man who, when Scout got re-announced to come back for LNG, looked at me and dead in his eyes said, well, he could be a bit rusty after he didn't play with the team for like 3 weeks after playing this whole past season, and was dead honest about it, and was like, yeah, they're not going to be well practiced together. And I was like, that's not how that works, but I just went, sure, and kept moving on, because you meant it with all your heart that TL stands a chance.
We do.
So I was like, sure. They do. They do, a little bit.
I was going to say, dude, tell me that TL isn't the best lane swap team in the world.
I don't know. I don't know that. I haven't seen enough lane swaps from other regions.
Exactly.
They don't really put that in the highlight videos.
It's because the majority of commentators want them gone.
True.
All right, we might not be the best. We're the most unique lane swap team.
True.
And people were copying our strats. Teams from Korea were copying our strats. So you can say what you want. Afromo was never the best support player in the world, but yet people were taking after him.
Yeah. I mean, there were sometimes lane swaps made sense to get out of bad lanes. And then sometimes you have to remember some LCS teams had bot lanes that might or may not have been so bad that they needed to lane swap just to survive a normal lane. So,
oh
yeah,
god.
that is the thing that happens. And in LCS, we do it differently. Instead of trying to get our bot lane to be better, we just try to avoid the problem as long into the game as possible so that we can deal with it as late as possible. Which is fair. And how it is.
Jake just asked, how many LCK lane swaps have I seen? To which my response, sir, is
none.
I
have seen none.
Would be this, sir. Okay. Is that. That is my response. I know Paul might not be able to see that, but he might if at some point. It was a picture of a dude with his head buried in the sand. Multiple people, their heads buried in the sand.
I mean, of course.
Oh, God. If TL beats LNG, it should be considered a massive upset. Yeah, it should be. It still should be an upset, but that's why I think we have a chance to pull off the upset. LNG is what? The second seed out of China or first? Or, sorry, third.
LNG, I believe they're the third.
Then, yeah.
I need to look. Are power rankings accurate in that metric? No, they aren't.
Probably not. Jake, you want to hop in call real quick? We got like 5 more minutes. I want to give you a chance to shit talk on behalf of Europe if you want to join. Chat, any final questions? Oh God, he's here. Oh no. What have I gotten myself into?
First of all, I think LNG is technically kind of the fourth best, just because they had like weird playoffs numbers with like the points on the year and shit. But yeah.
What do you have to say? What do you have to say about my philosophy of China needing both of us to be able to make it?
I mean, I don't get why you just kind of said they need to cheer for NA and just kind of cut it there, you know?
Well, I mean, I made the argument later that you guys might have 3 teams make it out based on the fact that the last time Worlds was in your country or your region, you had 3 teams make it out. So, like, I provided both sides of that.
Yep. I mean, hey, you present the stats. I can't refute them, right? So
you're gonna look at me and tell me that I'm wrong? She came down in a bubble, Dom. The Wicked Witch of the East, bro.
Yep. So it is. It's facts.
Oh, God. Is there anything else that we're missing before playing stage officially kicks off? Healy? Not today. I'm just giving Jake a chance to rep EU for a bit.
Did you see earlier what I wrote about Mad?
Which one? There's a lot of comments that come through.
Oh, good. So of course, Mad with this like new roster, right? Came in this year, fresh. Instantly, they went to finals.
Yep. Oh, you talking about their win percentage?
No. People were just not used to them at all, right? They kind of shocked everyone. Besides G2, that's it. They are gonna be fresh to these teams. They don't know what's up.
You don't know what we're gonna do if we don't know what
they
we're
are
not
do. Ready for the Spanish Inquisition, Dave.
Oh, I forgot you're Spanish. God damn it.
I am not Spanish.
Wait, where are you from? What's your accent again?
I'm Maltese, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's Malta. He's that little island.
Yes, sir.
Never mind. Well, why are you siding with the Spanish?
You want me to rep Europe? What the fuck you want me to do?
Weren't they the bane of your existence for a while there, for like a few decades, maybe centuries?
Bro, he also wrote an article earlier on in the year where he said that Mad would be a decent team.
I
remember
they went
bro, how
and I reposted that
whatever
shit.
Win rate. He had a 36% win rate, randomly played well
Don't
for a
matter,
month. He
bitch.
got to take complete laps around people going, let's go.
Yeah.
He got to tell everyone he was right.
Hey, now you know how I felt. You, 100 Thieves fans, in lockstep of saying that people were underrepresenting our teams.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look, Fnatic, yeah, I mean, I've talked about Fnatic before. I don't have shit to say. They are aliens to me. They are not European. It's fine. It is what it is. They'll do their thing. Maybe they take a win or two somewhere, but I just want my Spanish boys to do well.
I mean,
But in all honesty, I just want them to play a bunch of games because I think generally it's just so valuable for 4 rookies to just get more games at Worlds.
Yeah, I mean, I said the same thing.
Valuable.
I agree.
Yeah, it's the same thing for 100 Thieves, right?
Yeah.
You won games on Sniper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd prefer more games, but yeah.
With bigger boys, yeah.
I mean, the
How
sad
many
thing
games
is,
can you actually lose in Worlds again? Isn't it 3? It's 2, right?
the most you can lose is 4.
3.
3. It is 3.
Well,
Okay,
4 games because 2 best of 1s and then a best of 3.
Oh yeah. I'm saying matchups. Yeah, 3 matchups.
Yeah, 3 matchups is the most.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was trying to remember because I was like, man, I was like, for a second, I was like, they played way less games than I was remembering. But I guess it does at least get to 4.
But if you want to max out on the amount of games that you can play, you either go 2-0 or 0-2 and then play full best of 3s from there. Because then you go 3-6-9, 9 plus 2 is 11. Whereas the other way, if you go 1, 2, yeah, that'd be the best way of doing it. You play at most 11 games.
Yeah. The thing is, you guys haven't seen this format yet, right? Like this actual format.
Swiss stage, yeah, we have.
No, but not like this. This is different.
What
am I missing?
What's different?
This specifically is exactly what they tested this year, because I imagine you guys haven't seen in EU Masters, and it was a great success. It was very nice, very hype. Was just overall good. But we haven't done this for Tier 1 yet.
Brother, what are you talking about? The Swiss stage
No,
is
but it's like this.
The Swiss stage,
Did they do it last year?
It's the exact same.
Wasn't there some different like weird rules or something?
No, the only rule that's changed this year, they prevented region or same region match or no.
Oh yeah. I mean that's why it's gonna be better because that's also what they did in EU Masters.
Yeah, but like the Swiss stage format, like the idea of the format is exactly the same.
Yeah. It just that little thing actually just makes it so much hype, like more hype, because the same way it was in EU Masters. That's why everyone really liked it.
And that's why it's so beneficial for T1 to have drawn LNG this early. Like the best case scenario for TL is like if you can beat LNG here and then you face another Asian team at the 1-0 match, you can't play either of them later on because of the no rematch rule. So the odds of you playing a Western team to qualify out go up substantially.
I mean, Western or wildcard, right? Which either one you're happy with.
It ain't gonna be a wild card, but I'll let Brazil keep living in their daydream.
No, I mean PSG also, right?
It ain't gonna be PSG. I'll keep letting them live in their daydream as well.
I mean, PSG is should, but we know who they beat, so. It is what it is.
Yeah, I got no comment on that.
Yeah.
Anyways, don't you got to get to bed, sir? Doesn't like Swiss stage begins in quite literally 9 hours.
That is too many games for me to watch anyway. I am too busy of a man. It is what it is.
I mean, I'm not going to be watching them all actively, but like...
Yeah. I'll watch highlights or something. I'll look at Twitter,
Yeah.
It's best of ones. I don't get hyped for best of ones.
But I love best of ones in the right setting. And like too many of them I hate, but like when it's every once in a while, oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Could be a little bit of
drama. That's all we've got, baby.
Well, Paul, any final words before we end this?
I wish everyone the best of luck. I hope everybody kind of forgets the random stats Dave threw at them.
No, fuck you.
We have to hope they're not real, because if they somehow end up right, then he'll just continue, even regardless, to be honest, but he'll continue his baseless correlation stats. And we have to hope they're wrong. Other than that, I guess good luck to 100 Thieves and their fans that probably don't stand a chance, if we're being honest. Good luck.
Wow. Wow, that's
You're
how
about to be joining me in the free agency of a team.
I've actually
to cheer for.
I thought about it earlier today when I got the rumor out. I got plans for content next year, if that happens, for at least spring split. Because again, I will refuse to accept. I will not go to C9. Fuck C9. Okay. That at this point, that's part of the brand. Okay. That's just ingrained, and that ain't happening. But I got plans if that were to happen. So,
Do your
anyways,
plans involve crossing the ocean?
you paying?
I mean, I'm saying just for fun, you know.
Again, you paying?
Well, you could build
What
a
the fuck
sick
do I have to do?
G2. You could build a sick G2 and NYC fan base.
This is true.
Good.
They are already showing more curiosity than anyone else has.
All right.